So, first things first. Why would I do that? I'm not trying to do it. I'm having lessons, or I'm reading books or whatever, and I'm trying to discover, well, why do I do that? Now, if you do it and you hit great shots every time, then please keep doing it, because you must have some secret that we all don't have. But the likelihood is you're going to struggle with consistent ball striking, and it's also going to cost you some distance as well, because this is throwing everything out of sync as we come back to the ball. So the first thing, that the top of the page point that we would look at is, okay, good or decent here, good or decent here, but we see this movement. Now what you'll see there, that's an upper half motion that has initiated the downswing. Now if you look at any good player, you'll see that the first movement from the top of the backswing is some form of initiation with the lower half of the body. What this does, as we go back into our backswing, decent backswing, and as the legs initiate back, start the downswing, they're first. I teach this a lot with my pupils, and they will ask the question again, so the legs start first. Yes, 100%. The legs, the feet, knees, ankles initiate. They start back first. And what you'll see, what's happened there is it pulls the club automatically. I'm not trying to pull down, you know, on a chain or whatever. None of that. Keep it simple. Decent or good setup. Decent or good backswing. Initiate. And it automatically drags that upper half, the arms, the hands and the clubs down into that required slot that we're looking for in our downswings. Now, a lot of you watching this will be like, well, don't you do this or don't you do that? This isn't just for a few people that I'm recommending this. This is 100% required within any good golf swing. You go and watch the top 100 pros now on YouTube, slow it down and watch what starts the downswing. And every one of them, some a little bit more obvious than others, to be fair, but nevertheless, every one of them will start with some form of lower half movement first back to the ball. And that's the same if it's a small swing, full back swing, maybe not quite so obvious on some chipping and pitching shots. We try to take the legs, shall we say, a little bit out of those sort of shots and just try to swing our shoulders for little shots. But once we're trying to generate some power, you know, maybe 50, 60 or more yards, you'll see all those golfers, the legs start back first. This isn't a video just to help a few viewers. This is a video that everybody that plays golf needs to bring into their golf game. Now remember, if your setup and backswing are very poor, there's no point suddenly trying to work on leg action if your backswing was sort of like this. The legs aren't going to help you. You have to build up that backswing in preparation for your legs to be allowed to join in and really give you that consistent power and consistent ball striking. 9 times out of 10, a shot that goes offline, it will be either here is the problem or something in the backswing is the problem, but the striking of the golf ball, the power that you put into the golf ball, it comes from the lower half leading and being in charge of your overall hitting, the art of hitting that golf ball. You won't find any good player who swings with their legs coming through afterwards. If you can find one, then please comment, send me the video, and yeah, I'll eat my hat. But I'm 99.999% recurring that you will not find a top golfer that has a secondary movement of their lower half when they come back to the ball. There is always a shift. But as I said a moment ago, please don't practice this and expect to hit the ball better if your setup and backswing is very, very poor. Remember, that needs to be at least pretty good. Backswing, a little bit of shoulder turn, etc. That needs to be pretty good. Then you can utilize the leg action. And the better your setup and the better your backswing, then you can really, really benefit from this movement of the lower half. I've said it in one or two of my other videos on my YouTube channel, but I can't emphasize enough how much of a role your lower half plays in giving you consistent power, consistent ball striking, and it will just elevate your whole game to another level. But there's only a small window of time when you can do that movement, so you have to have a little bit of patience. Just give it a chance. Don't rush the swing. Give the legs a chance. Whilst they're powerful, both your legs are obviously very, very powerful used together. They're also, ironically, slower movers, because you can only move your legs so fast. You can move the wrists quite quickly independently, but there's less power here than there is getting all of your weight transferred into the golf ball, which is ultimately what this video is trying to explain. So, second bit now would be, don't try to swing in to stop you coming over the top. It actually will compound the error, and you will eventually promote a more over the top swing by thinking, and it seems logical, I'm coming over the top in my downswing, so why don't I get more inside and a bit more flatter, and then I can come more here, and that'll stop me coming over the top. It seems so logical that that should be correct, but it's normally the opposite to what you think. For instance, if I practice swinging here, you could argue, well, that I want to keep away from that because I'm always coming over the top. But if you were in this position, the likelihood is you would have to move some weight in order to be able to hit the ball. So you're sort of fighting fire with fire. So what I'd like you to do is to swing a little bit straighter back into your backswing, not bringing it in here, going out there. Yes, you could practice one or two of those just for a little bit of fun, but not in here. Glide the club away straight back. Just keep that going. I don't mind if you're a wristy person in your backswing, that's fine. Or if you're a dead wrist swinger into your backswing, but just let it glide straight back, and then just keep it going. Just forget about that then. And now switch your thinking once you've gone past sort of this halfway point into your backswing, and then move those feet, knees and ankles, shift your weight across and make sure that's the first movement back to the ball. It's not a case of forcing the hips to turn as we shift. That will happen more automatically for you. So glide it back, all the way up, legs, knees, ankles, good footwork, drops this club down. There's no way this will happen if you're shifting. If I shift, it drops that club more on that desired slot back to the ball. So let's try one here. Glide it back and start the downswing with the legs. So I hit that with the feeling of just driving the lower half through. Wasn't a bad shot, be reasonably pleased with that as a result. Not a bad little bit of leg action there, but buy yourself a little bit of time to achieve it. Golf's a very hard game, as I'm sure you know, but give yourself that little bit of time at the change of direction to allow the legs to join in and let them start the downswing. They're slower movers, the legs, but they're really, really powerful. And that gives you this power and consistent ball striking that we desire when we try to hit a golf ball. So give yourself that little bit of time. Go and try this, practice it. Do one or two experimentations by swinging it out and fighting fire with fire a little bit. But leave me a comment. Let me know how you get on with this. I always respond to the comments. And as ever, like, subscribe, share, and all of that stuff. And until next time, thanks very much for watching.